Welcome to Newslaundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. Newslaundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a Newslaundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. Welcome to another episode of Hafta. We're recording this on the 1st of June, which is the most pleasant 1st of June I have ever encountered in my 30 years in Delhi. And
Like I was saying, El Nino is working out just fine for
El Nino, that's our weather expert Manisha Pande tells you El Nino is working out just fine.
Just fine, Delhi's great.
And the headline this morning that really was remarkable was that this is the coolest May.
Since
I don't know, in like from 34 or 48 years or something like that. So that's fantastic. Before we get into the headlines, I would like to announce that we have decided the date and venue of the subscribers meetup in Bangalore. You may know, because I have been announcing it for the last few weeks, that the News Minute and News Laundry, as part of our partnership that we announced a couple of months back, which is going to be cemented into a very firm partnership, we are having a joint subscriber meet in Bangalore. It is going to be on the 17th of June from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and the venue is Prabhat Kaladwaraka. I'm sure our colleagues in the News Minute will pronounce this correctly, but it is Prabhat Kaladwaraka, Koramangala, Bengaluru. I repeat, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the 17th of June, which is a Saturday. So it is the partnership with the News Minute. It is going to be a joint partnership and subscriber meet. So if you're a News Laundry subscriber or a News Minute subscriber / member, please do attend. If you're not, you still have a week or two to become a subscriber and attend that subscriber meet. There will be Dhanya, there will be hopefully the editorial team of News Minute. Hopefully Manisha will be there as well. I shall be there. We will have a conversation around many things that are fun. We will try to also organize a fun stand-up act for you. If we can't organize one, Manisha will provide one because she hosts one of the most successful.
I'm such an improv.
Yeah, she's an improv queen. Not only does she anchor a show that does satire. So drop us a mail at subscription@newslaundry.com. I repeat, subscription@newslaundry.com if you want to attend. It is only open to subscribers. And why we needed to drop a mail is that we know how many people to cater to, because we will also be serving tea, coffee and snacks.
No beer.
Okay, you can go hang out with Manisha later
because
she's going to get you
beer.
a liquor license, but I stay miles away from that kind of stuff. Because anyone who has anything to do with booze in Delhi seems to end up in prison. So
And then South Group.
And the South Group.
Delhi meeting South Group.
And also we have a WhatsApp group for our Bangalore subscribers and we send you regular updates and the meetup. So if you just want to get onto that group, you can mail us your number. Again at subscription@newslaundry.com. So please do attend. We have a few special announcements that we'll make only there. The team from News Minute will be there. I will be there. And hopefully so will Manisha. So we hope to see you there. Subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. And when advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Also do top up our Press Freedom Fund. I had said it'll only stay open for May because I was sure it would get topped up in May, but it hasn't got topped up. So I have been proved wrong yet again. But this time, come on, let's top this up this week so we can take it down in the first week of June. It's so embarrassing to have it up for so long. On that note, let me introduce the panel. Then you shall get to hear the headlines from Manisha. In the studio with me is Raman Kirpal. Hi, sir.
Hi.
Shardool Katyayan. Again, he's here since Anand is taking his exam. Otherwise, they will alternate once a week.
The last
Shardool,
exam of the first semester.
Hi,
Hello.
Shardool. Manisha Pande.
Hello.
And joining us on the phone line is Aditi Phadnis. Hi, Aditi.
Hi.
So, Aditi is a journalist with about 4 decades of experience in political reporting. She's contributing editor at Business Standard. Her comments have been published in The Economist, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, among others. So, Aditi, did you attend the Parliament opening, by the way?
Well, the Parliament opening was, we were invited at 11, but it actually began at 7:30 in the morning. So I could not attend.
Sorry, I don't understand. So, because of security reasons, that everyone had to line up early.
No, we the Singol and all the religious ceremonies happened first thing in the morning, And then the action moved to the new Parliament House, where speeches were made and addresses delivered. So the press was invited 11:30 onwards, and I think only the television media was invited at 7:30. So, in a long answer to your short question, no, I did not attend.
So you didn't attend the ceremony and the whole
No,
thing, but went inside.
But you did go when you didn't go at all.
No, I haven't been to the new Parliament yet.
I see. Are you waiting for a Rajya Sabha ticket?
No, I'm waiting for Parliament to actually begin. Yesterday, we had a long chat with the Urban Development Minister Hardeep Puri, who explained to us that last minute finishing is still going on, and therefore Parliament House, the new Parliament House, is not yet fully open. Random people have been going and seeing what it looks like inside, but frankly, I am not ready to risk limb and life in case some falling girders crush their life out of me.
Yeah,
So
Considering what's happened at Mahakal.
with good reason, because the Mahakal temple, Manisha, tell us what happened. This was inaugurated with great pomp and show by
about
the
a
Prime
year ago,
Minister.
and then some of the statues have broken down because of the storm.
They've just
Mahakal?
fallen.
You're talking about Kashi Vishwanath.
The
Ujjain.
Mahakal
Ujjain
Vishwanath corridor.
So, no, where was this?
The Mahakal corridor.
In Kashi,
Ujjain.
right? Acha, Ujjain.
no, Ujjain.
Yeah, so there the
Mahakal temple is in Ujjain.
that huge
Yeah.
statues lying on the ground, it's broken. So of course you won't see this. But I don't know if any of you recall, T3 was this big UPA achievement. UPA 2 or UPA 1. When did T3 open? Terminal 3? I forget.
UPA 1 towards the end.
2009. I remember this because they opened it before actually it was supposed to open, because the वो क्या लागू हो जाता है इलेक्शन कमीशन का when you can't announce any new
Model
हाँ,
Code of Conduct.
so they kind of pulled the opening date when Sonia Gandhi had delivered that huge, it was a very big airport for at that time. It was like this huge, like from the, I don't know if any of you even remember the original terminal, which was the size
I
of
do.
our office.
Yes, I do.
So from that, T3 was this big thing. And I don't know if you remember, within a week or two of its opening, water was dripping, things were falling from this thing, because of course it wasn't complete. They had quickly wanted to open it, and that time the Civil Aviation Minister was Praful Patel. And so I guess similar things.
You can't say this about Modi Stadium.
No, there you can't say. About not Narendra Modi Stadium, where there was drying sponges and all that. Anyway, yeah, so...
We did see the bridge collapse at the statue, Statue of Unity. So I really don't know
That had also
if any government is not culpable.
Oh, I didn't know that happened. Okay.
In Gujarat,
These
the
things keep happening.
bridge collapsed, right? And many people died as a
Oh,
result
the
of
Morbi
that.
one, right?
Morbi.
Of course. Yes.
Morbi.
Right. Okay. I thought something happened like recently in the last.
No.
Okay, that one. Or of course, I remember that. So let's get the headlines, and we shall get into what the new parliament stands for and when it'll sit.
So Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday inaugurated the new Parliament building in Delhi in a grand ceremony that was boycotted by opposition parties, many of them at least. Modi called the new building a cradle of empowerment and said it will contribute to the world's progress.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, a few kilometers away at Jantar Mantar, the Delhi police on Sunday detained wrestlers Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Sangeeta Fogart, Vinesh Fogart and others for rioting. They were trying to march to the new parliament building during the inauguration, and you had that video of Vinesh saying, Naye Bharat Sabko Mubarak, and she's smiling from the bus. Smiling sarcastically, obviously. The Sanyukt Kisan Morcha, an umbrella group of nearly 40 farmers' union on Tuesday, called for nationwide demonstrations on June 1st, which is today. And as we speak, in fact, there's a panchayat that's going on
Yeah.
with Tiket and the wrestlers.
No, not just the wrestlers. I mean, you have panchayats from Punjab, Haryana, all of them.
So all these farm
More
unions.
than 40 panchayats.
And before this on Tuesday, the wrestlers had announced that they're going to immerse their gold medals in Ganga. And they went to Haridwar, but Tiket came there and said that give
Wait
it
for
to
another
us,
5
wait for
days.
5 days and don't do this. So that was made quite a bit of news. United World Wrestling supports wrestlers' protest and threatens to ban WFI, and they've said that we will accept individual wrestlers under neutral flags. So we will not recognize this body, which will be a huge blow.
Yeah, that is really shameful. I mean, if this actually happens, so much for this whole narrative that we are getting more and more respect all over the world.
The National Council for Educational Research and Training on Tuesday said it has removed references to Khalistan from class 12th political science textbook. The changes to the textbook were made after Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee last month raised objections about the content. And that's not it. Periodic table has also been removed.
Now kids won't have to do this because they don't need to know the
they have
periodic
to opt
table.
for chemistry to study it now
No,
in class 11, 12.
this is bad. But we'll discuss it later.
Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Tuesday issued an appeal to Kuki groups to maintain peace in Manipur for at least 15 days. He is currently in Manipur. He announced that a committee led by a retired High Court judge will investigate the violence that had occurred. We know that 81 people have died so far, over 200 people have been injured and thousands displaced. And amid all this tension, senior IPS officer Rajiv Singh has been given charge of the post of Director General of Police. He replaces P. Downgill, who has been transferred to the post of OSD Home in the Ministry of Home Affairs.
And, meanwhile, the women from Manipur also were protesting at Jantar Mantar. And the wrestlers weren't allowed to come back by the police, and they aren't even being allowed to protest at India Gate. So I don't know where they're protesting actually right now. But coming to this, Aditi, do you have a correspondent anywhere close to Manipur?
Well, we are a business paper,
Mm-hmm.
and so Manipur is on the fringes of business. We do follow things from Calcutta,
Mm-hmm.
but no, we don't have a person in Manipur.
So, I mean, because I saw that these guys were claiming that their reporter was the only one on the ground. Kya kehte hain, Network 18, 2-3 weeks ago. But I've read
It's possible. I'm sure others have. They may be the only TV network to have a person on the ground. But
I
most
thought you meant
newspapers have.
right. No, I thought you meant others have also made that claim, which is also possible.
So, I mean, newspapers, I've read Express has reporters there.
They
I think
have a
Scroll
reporter.
also has someone there. East Mojo, of course, has been there for a long
Yeah,
time,
they've
and they've
been
been
there.
reporting quite consistently from there.
Right.
And TV, I'd assume that once the Home Minister lands there, you would have the Delhi crew. Because I don't know, I saw some bulletins saying that Home Minister Amit Shah is being welcomed by tribal women.
Yeah, that was the ticker, na?
Yeah.
That was with Indian flags. They were welcoming him. That was the breaking news.
RTI this week revealed that erstwhile BJP government in Karnataka spent 44 crore on advertisements in print and electronic media in 4 months leading up to assembly polls. The money was spent between December 1st and March 29th.
And which is why we say when the public pays, the public is served. When the advertisers pay, advertisers are served. So as you can see, across governments, across states, the amount of money that goes into advertising, much of it in news. So, which is why news often on broadcast is interspersed with long advertorials of every chief minister telling us how well they've done. In fact, did anyone see the double spread on
Raman Singh.
Raman Singh's today? The Ramayana.
I saw that.
So all I'm saying is that these kind of artifices which pass for grand political gestures don't really take us very far. This is what history has taught us.
Right. What did you make of it, sir? You saw the coverage, and also, I mean, I think Meghnad hopefully somewhere is putting this data together of how many days the parliament actually sat. It can't-
65.
No, there's a very good article today
Okay.
in Express which is giving the gist of it,
Hmm.
and which also gives an impression that journalists are not so much interested in the hardware. They're more interested in the software. So the hardware has come in, so now they want to see how people are going to perform. The persons who are going to sit over there.
Well, I
Okay,
don't know.
so
Some
they-
journalists may, but I think the broadcast journalists are just happy seeing how spectacular it is. But
So that is, we know for the obvious reasons. But yes, the figures that he has given that way back in 1952-60, the average, in a year, the parliament used to sit for 127 days. It came down to till 2009, say 1990 to 2009, it came down to 77 days. Then it further came down to 2009 to 2020, it came down to 66 days. And now of the past 2 years, average is 58 days.
Last session was the worst
Huh?
in terms of productivity.
ever.
Yeah, last session.
And also,
and 51% of this, whatever sittings that they have, it goes waste because they are pandemonium. They are protesting. They don't let the debates happen.
Adjourn.
And the opposition want to speak. The speaker doesn't let them.
In fact, not
speak.
just that. Many of the
No, but there's another aspect to this which we have to address, which is that the standing committees and the bills that the government passes. So let's look at it from the way, from the process of Parliament functioning. Parliament functions because the government draws up a bill, it draws up an amendment which it thinks is bringing law contemporaneity to laws. It places the bill in the House. Usually, in many cases, the bill is sent to a standing committee where a bipartisan discussion takes place between the opposition and the parliament and the government on the nature of the amendment or the nature of the bill, like it happened in the case of the data protection law. And then you arrive at a conclusion. So a lot of the work that you see on the table of the House is actually taking place behind the scenes of the House.
Exactly.
So
in fact,
all I'm saying is the number of times the government is referring bills to standing committees, the instances are becoming fewer and fewer. In other words, the opposition's expertise or the opposition's wisdom, or call it what you want, is simply not sought. The BJP government has a majority in the Lok Sabha. It has a near majority in the Rajya Sabha. So frankly, I mean, it costs nothing to get things discussed by the opposition.
In fact, this one data point that I've quoted on the Hafta in the past also, on the 23rd of December 2008 under the UPA, 17 bills were passed in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That was, I remember, everyone was like, what the hell?
Without any discussion.
Without just passed like that. So, yes, that's unfortunate. But, I mean, I just think the spectacle of that opening was bizarre. And, I think we've got desensitized to what bizarre is because everything is an event. We live in an age of, not just in India, I guess, even in the US, the kind of shit that Donald Trump gets away with saying, that town hall of his, the kind of stuff that he got away with saying. So, of course, our standards continue, the bar keeps getting lower. But if you just look at the whole spectacle of what Mr. Modi was doing with, marching here and just the whole body language.
Looking at the camera, his eye directly.
And I mean, I think the guy genuinely believes he's in this 24/7 reality show where he's like the star performer. And can you imagine that Tamjam? We just see the photograph. Imagine all the planning that's gone around making that happen, man. I mean, you're like, you'd be in the middle of a Sanjay Leela Bhansali set with those, 15 people in their outfits, and whoever's the, art director of that would have got every detail in place. It's a spectacular looking building. But one thing that I noticed was, no Bhakt said, why is the wall behind the speaker green?
The Lok Sabha is green.
Yeah, even I thought.
And Rajya Sabha is pink, apparently. The Lok Sabha is...
What do you make of it, Shardool?
It's not really green. It's the colors of the feathers of peacock.
Oh, I see. So that's why the
Rajya Sabha
is
after the lotus, which has to be, well, it doesn't have to be, but it is usually pink.
Hmm.
And the peacock's colors, that is kind of sea green, iridescent shimmer.
Right.
That is supposed to be the background. I mean, the main color theme in the Lok Sabha.
And Aditi, if you know, where is the Gandhi statue now in Parliament? Is it far?
Well, in relation to the new Parliament, it's not anywhere.
So it's not there at all. Okay. So that'll stay in
It's
the old
Old
Parliament.
Parliament.
So that'll remain as
You have Savarkar's here.
No, they don't have a Savarkar statue. That's also in the old one. They have a portrait of his.
Of course. So, this was bizarre on so many levels. And, this discussion tells me something else. Like it's a funny thing, but parliamentarian is the job to do. You do least amount of work, your salary is almost doubled every year, and you have to decide how much salary you increase. I understand why people are wanting to be parliamentarians now. But besides that, one thing, there are many things which troubled me, but this Sengol thing, and the Hindu headline which we read sort of is a misnomer, cradle. It should be crib, not cradle, because he said Sashakti Karan ka Palna. So empowerment is in nascent stages in India now. Parliament is being built, but empowerment अभी बढ़ रहा है. देखो अभी तो पैदा ही हुआ है, पालने में है.
अच्छा.
So this BS of dialogue, right? This bombast, and I mentioned it last week too. Like this is not the sheen. This is the only thing. He only has sheen. He makes statements, he makes acronyms, but he doesn't do anything.
What does the opposition do in this case also? Because this is very much Modi's movie. It's that, I was saying in Awful and Awesome to Rajshri, it's like Kareena Kapoor's dialogue in Jab We Met, na, मैं अपनी favorite हूँ. That's the problem with Prime Minister, मैं अपना favorite हूँ. So this is about him. So this whole thing, he could have done this, he's not going to do it because this thing is about him. And you can see it through how the channels played this up. It was worse than anything we've seen being said or done about Kim Jong-un. कि धोती पहन के आए हैं, उनसे विशेष प्रकार की शालीनता और कैसे चल रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं. So this whole thing is about him. So
it need not have, he could have been announcing.
So the opposition also, like, they shouldn't boycott it, but then what? Be there and see this happen. I mean, there comes a point where you probably think that, dude, there's no point of us being there. And there were questions raised about why is he inaugurating it. It could have been the president. It could have been the speaker. It could have been someone, at a more neutral position, because it is not a party function.
Yeah.
Essentially, he turned it into a BJP party function.
But I think the opposition had a mindset on this. I could very clearly see, judge that they had a mindset on it when they picked up that president should inaugurate. It was a mindset which was already working, and they already wanted to boycott.
And this key thing,
so they were just finding an
also,
alibi. So this was the alibi that they found.
Manisha, you've been watching a lot of news. Your nuisance is about that this time. Let's start with you. Give us context of what happened, how it was covered, and do you see this becoming a bigger issue now? As we speak, we are recording this in the afternoon on Thursday, the 1st of June at 3:48. A cup is sitting, deciding what to do. Will this become another farmers' protest?
So wrestlers have been protesting all of May now. The first time, by the way, they came to protest was in January. So this has been going on for a while. And April, they achieved the Supreme Court. They managed to get the Supreme Court to direct Delhi police to file an FIR. And all of May, they've been protesting. The single demand is that this chap be arrested because one of the complainants is a minor. That is what being said. And in POXO cases, usually the arrest is very swift. Now, that hasn't happened. And they were planning to march to Parliament on Sunday. And the Delhi police gharawed them, detained them. Some very dramatic scenes of them being hit, them, to the ground. And very disturbingly, actually. And immediately after this, you had at least, and this is when you know what is coming from the top or what is the sense. Even the Prime Minister has not said anything. No one of any relevance has said much about this except Anurag Thakur. But you can tell what they're really thinking when you see what TV news channels are saying and you see how the IT cell is behaving. So right on that day, you had pictures of Vinesh and Sakshi morphed. They're visibly sad in the bus, but the pictures that went viral were them smiling, which was basically morphed through AI. You just can't tell the difference. It's that scary. And you had all these BJP journalists, Abhijit Majumdar and Ashok Pandit and a few, the BJP Bengal president.
It was all over social media.
And saying, ye dekho toolkit. And soon enough, Sakshi Malik said the very next day that she's going to go and, immerse her medals in the Ganga because she sees no hope in this current oversight committee and the government. And you had channels attack them through the day. I think Monday, Tuesday, everyone ignored it. And by Wednesday, everyone was like, ये मेडल कैसे बहा सकते हैं, ये तो हमारे सारे देश के मेडल्स हैं, इनके मेडल थोड़ना है, देश ने भी तो उन्हें पैसे दिए, इनको रेलवे की जॉब मिली है. And a complete vilification, the same thing what you saw during the Shaheen Bagh protests. So you can't win over them, start defaming them. The same thing we saw with farmers' protests. You could not convince them of your viewpoint, so then you suddenly unleash your troll armies, you unleash your spokespersons on the people and say Khalistani hai, anti-national hai. And now this is, ये तो politics कर रहे हैं. मतलब the most nonsensical thing to say. The Prime Minister can do a completely political event of something that should not be political, like the Parliament. And that's all allowed, that's fine, that'll be celebrated. But wrestlers, making this about politics, which it should be, because they've been now protesting for 6 months almost, is somehow a sin.
My theory is that in 2024, like they thought that it's going to be a cakewalk. It clearly won't be after what happened in Karnataka. And if word on the street is to be believed, Madhya Pradesh is also going to be rather devastating for them. At a time like that, when Gujarat, they got all the seats there were. Madhya Pradesh, they got 25 out of 26 or 26 out of 27, whatever it was. The only place where they can go up significantly and they're still strong is UP, where they got 62 out of 80 seats. And there they can still go up to 75. If everywhere else they're coming down by 10 seats. And this guy, today's Express, tells us that he greatly influences about 6 Lok Sabha constituencies in Uttar Pradesh. Then for them, he's untouchable. Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of, I can't think of any other reasons that they would risk this kind of a backlash for one guy.
No, ironically, if you see the profile of these wrestlers, in the past, in some form or the other, they have spoken for Modi. At different events, you will see their tweets, either by way of tweets, as it mostly happens, in case of celebrities.
Yeah.
So if you see, they were all in line with the present government when they started the protest. And I think if you also check their tone, they said we are sure that Modi ji will listen to our. So the tone was also.
He said na beti bulaya tha. He called them home when they won this thing. Na to pehle hame beti bulaya tha aur ab sunte bhi
So now the things have quite changed, and I think it is snowballing into, at least I will not say the entire nation, but at least
Haryana,
in North, it's really becoming a big issue.
So the BJP doesn't know who to back. I mean, it's a big problem for them.
So, one, Mr. Ramdev is quite powerful, but not that powerful. 2, 6 Lok Sabha seats are not that big a deal to face that much bad PR. And like Raman said, Pahlwani, like wrestling, is quite a culture in Western UP, a bit of central, like till you touch Sitapur and all, and near Bareilly and the whole parts of Haryana. Like you will get a very bad rep. Because like these are people who literally come from the ground through the strength of their backs. And now they are being told their medals don't belong to them. Like this is not done. There is some reason, I don't know why this guy is untouchable. I mean, imagine anybody else in POSCO case.
Yeah, dude. I mean, anyone would be sidelined, and even if Ramdev was at fault, for them it's a political thing. No? It's not a moral or ethical call. It's a political call. For any party, it's a political call. For BJP, to forget any ethics or morals coming into play.
And sorry. And the thing is, like, how much money Ramdev has to pay for female wrestlers to say that they are being raped? Like, this is not a small thing to come out and face. And the other thing is, like, they are being told you are politicizing. Like, who politicize sport bodies? Like, politicians are in every sports body. What the hell are you talking about, that politicizing the issue? Like, politics
you have
is
some
everywhere.
self-made people like what's Amit Shah's son's name? Sorry.
Jai Shah.
Yeah, I must call him by his own self-made identity. Jai Shah, not Amit Shah's son.
Who's on Vogue? Who's in Vogue's cover?
Yeah, he's a self-made, non-political person in BCCI. How do you say that?
And like you said about the wrestlers, the emotional connect, we all know that these guys have made it purely because of their own perseverance, their hard work, and they have risen against odds. So I think that kind of sentiment.
Yeah, and the other thing is, anybody who has engaged even mildly in sports in their life, they haven't played at any level, but if they have engaged, you know how hard it is to go to local stadium every day, or go to local akhada and go through the ranks and go through that drill besides your school.
But I have an announcement to make. I will just remind everybody, on the 17th of June, which is a Saturday, from 4 to 6 p.m, there's going to be a joint subscriber/members meetup of the News Minutes members and team and Newslaundry's members and team at Prabhat Kaladwaraka, Koramangalam, Bengaluru. So if you're not a subscriber already, please become a subscriber. And you can come and interact with us if you find that interesting, or other subscribers and members are very interesting. In fact, at our subscriber meet, I meet such fascinating people. Like some professor who is working on a project which like boggles my mind. I feel like saying, Hafil, I should shut up and why don't you talk to everybody?
And in fact, since it's a weekend, a lot of people from around Bangalore can also make it.
Yeah, so do come. So we will celebrate the Newslaundry News Minute Alliance. Drop us an email at subscription@newslaundry.com so that we know how many people we should cater to. All of you listening in, the Chhota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served, and advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the News Laundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to Newslaundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. सुन लिया अफ्रीका मुफत खोरों. Not to brag or anything, but Newslaundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free. All Newslaundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.